So, weakness in strength. And I really had a problem with this talk, because normally my talk I usually give to the IoT people is about why we are completely doomed with IoT, and I'm an IoT guy. And now I said, because I'm from Germany, we have this kind of German Angst, which is this fear, fear for everything. But at least we are great engineers, and I don't want to make my talk about angst, because that's too, you will all need your pills afterwards and the alcohol and the stuff. No, let's try to make it, let's face the challenge. Let's face the angst. It's like what we're doing now is a therapy. Let's face the angst, and then let's consider together if we can manage it. So, can the Internet of Things defend against upcoming security threats? That's the subtitle. Good. First of all, what's about, I mean, you're all professional. I don't have to tell you about all the security threats. We heard a lot about firewalls and stuff like that. So you're on the daily business. I believe all your servers and your firewalls will be attacked every second by, various people. That's just the daily business. And I believe it looks like that. It's like, what we have out there is this zombie army, which is attacking us. And what were they doing? Well, there are two main strategies. One is just build up the firewalls, and you have your own firewalls, and you can just tie them together to prevent the zombies of intruding your compartment, because the second part is a compartment strategy. So that's currently, I think, the situation we are facing, and everybody of you can face that situation. More, less good, or perfect. But I think that was the past, because currently, I know in 2016, I think that was the first shake in the industry, and the first shake in the industry was Mirai. Because why? I mean, the issue of botnets, we had the issues of botnets before. But Mirai was this kind of completely first shaking event, where the purpose of Mirai was, were kids attacking Minecraft servers for DDoS. I mean, even there were no particular interests in attacking the Deutsche Telekom or other telecom companies. It was just like, oh, we want to ransom some money from Minecraft servers. And Anna Senpai, who designed this kind of IoT botnet, it was not the first IoT botnet, but it was the most successful IoT botnet. When Anna Senpai designed it, he was completely surprised that he managed to build up this large botnet in just a couple of days. It was about more than 500,000 devices. And all what he used were 63 standard passwords. That was all. And he's a brilliant Erlang coder, and the ability just to build all the management infrastructure for this high-scaling botnet so that Mirai was working perfectly. And afterwards, as we know, Mirai did, in 2016, the most impressive DDoS attack ever. 10 times stronger than every other DDoS. Which was impressive on the one side, but on the second side, which was more scary about that, is that we suddenly had a blueprint for IoT botnets. Because Mirai was published on GitHub, a lot of people just had a look on it, and there was a blueprint. And even we have seen, well, it seems like Mirai, the only reason why Mirai was so successful is that the system is already broken. I mean, IoT is so complex. We are starting from the device, from the chipset manufacturer with the Wi-Fi cards and Wi-Fi chips, up to service providers, up to startups integrating that stuff. This morning we heard about the Ring with security. I mean, the Ring had 2 times really hard security issues. And they are the most successful smart doorbell provider of the world. I don't trust them. Sorry, I don't trust them, because they're just buying Chinese Wi-Fi cards, integrating into their design, and they're a great software company, but they are not a hardware company. But what we see now in 2018 is that the botnets are changing more. They're getting more specific. Now, for example, the latest botnets, which is also related to the Mirai blueprint, it's completely focusing, for example, on finance industry. So it's a different attack. So even as you're thinking about different business model, the industry of botnet makers, they're just focusing more on specific business, which is much more dangerous or interesting, because if we think about all the Gartner predictions, how many IoT devices we have in 2025, I don't know, it's 1 billion, 2 billion, I don't know, it's just a lot. And every single device will be part of rather powerful weapons. So I believe, okay, currently we can survive in the IoT world, defending the zombies with our firewalls and our compartments. But surviving in the IoT world tomorrow will be rather different. I think it will look more like that. Remember the first picture? It was just some zombies and we can just deal with the zombies. Well, what if we are not facing single zombies, if we are facing armies of armies of armies of zombies? Well, the typical reaction of our industry is, well, it's not a problem. We can deal that, we invest more in our firewalls. We're building bigger walls. But come on, if the system is broken, we will lose the race. Because investing in more and more bigger firewalls and walls and compartments and stuff like that, we will running into a situation where our business models will no longer work because we have less return of invests. But even the people in the security industries are getting more invests. That's brilliant. Even keep in mind that the guys of Mirai, who had been in the DDoS industry before, defending Minecraft servers from DDoS. So they were just not only part of the solution in DDoS defending, they had been a business model to create their own customers. So the system is broken. And to survive in a world which is full of these hostile IoT zombies, it is billions of zombies, I think we need more than more and higher firewalls and more than more closed compartments. The strategy will not work anymore. And all the business models you were discussing this morning, like, oh, what can we do? Where's our business? Where are our revenues and whatever? I can tell you, they're gone. Because whatever you do, if we don't fix these problems, you will earn no money. The only one who will earn money are Kaspersky, McAfee, Cloudflare, whatever, but not the telecoms. You get only trouble. Customers who are not satisfied with your service, customers who are annoyed that their data was leaked. Hey, come on, we don't want that. So we have to think. First of all, I think the main problem is in IoT that we had a lack of consent. We have a lack of consent for responsibilities. And this is not only an industry problem. This is a problem of governments. And it's even also a problem for consumers. Unfortunately, this is the hardest part. But even, come on, who of us is industry and consumer? Everybody of us. So we need this concept of responsibility. So that's you guys and me, hopefully. We should be encouraged. The only way to fight the zombies is we need our full power, and we have to equip ourselves, and we need to be brave, and we need really fully encouraged on that. Otherwise, our business in IoT is completely doomed. I believe the approach is not only an industry approach. We can build better firewalls, better compartments, whatever. This is not helping us. When I was on the Munich Security Conference, I think there was an industry consortium, for example, It was Deutsche Telekom, I believe, Siemens, Airbus, and some others, and they released a Charter of Trust, which is an initiative I really like, because the Charter of Trust describes in 10 points, 10 important points, what we have to do if we want to build up a sustainable business in the IoT world. And it's basically, even like other players like Microsoft, they have same ideas on that we need to do more than only technical solutions. What we need is this kind of 360 degrees, because we are talking about governments, we are talking about countries, societies, industries, and consumers. So what we have to do? First of all, we need responsibility in the supply chain. That's rather easy to tell, but if you're facing, for example, if you talk with startups in the IoT world and you say, tell them about security, they will say, no, it's not about security, it's about getting our MVP into a product in time, not running out of money. That's a problem. But we need that responsibility from the beginning, from the guys who are building the chipset, from the Chinese vendors who are shipping these millions of Wi-Fi modules, that there's a responsibility and awareness that there are no backdoor passwords inside these modules, or that the standard passwords have to be removed. That's rather simple. If we take it to a company level, then we can say, well, on many companies, even on your telcos, you know, the security issue is just part of the CIO department. Chief Information Officers have to take care of security, but that's not true. It's really everyone's business, and we have to teach our companies that it's really everyone's business. Because it's also a question of education and training. So have you read the shitstorm about T-Mobile Austria? Still someone there from T-Mobile? No? It was just simple. It was a Twitter. It was a simple, you know, this kind of easy questions on Twitter. Someone was asking T-Mobile on Twitter, yes, it's about my password. I had a phone call with the support, and they could tell me the first letter of my password. Is it true that the password is stored, not encrypted in your database? And then on Twitter, it was the social media team who had to respond, and they said, oh, well, yes, it's true. We store your password not encrypted in the database. But, you know, don't trust us, you know, don't fear us, trust us. We are telecom industries. We know how to deal with security. That was the response. I mean, come on. That was this was an introduction to all the white hat hackers in the world to have a look at T-Mobile Austria's websites and their databases if they are really secure. And oh my God, what I found out, there was some GitHub relations, and you can completely download the databases, including database passwords. And someone went, well, no. Obviously, of course, this large organization knows how to deal with security, but particularly not. And as a customer and consumer, you can't trust anyone on security. You can't trust anyone. And if someone tells you, I mean, if I stand in the garden and say, trust me, don't run away. Come on, nobody will believe that. Nobody will believe that. So we need education and training, because the problem was the social media team, because they just made a statement which is not true, and everybody in the security industry will tell them, oh, never tell someone that there's 100% security. We need transparency. I mean, Equifax and all the other stuff we have seen. Come on, if you get hacked, if you have a security problem, you need to really proactive talk about that and give the right information, and don't wait too long. Have you seen the Mark Zuckerberg hearing? I mean, come on, this was like looking the football championship for nerds. Like, take a beer, some popcorns, and see the senators and Mark Zuckerberg just playing their games. Come on, it's all about trust, and for them it's essential for the business model. But there's a big distrust now. It was the first time that I've heard a US senator calling, well, will be the European Union data protection policy, is this a blueprint for regulation for the US? Come on. That's incredible. That's an incredible statement. We need multinational cooperation. Many security issues we have seen, like for example, shadow broker. I mean, the problem was not, there are vulnerabilities, of course, but the problem are zero-day exploits. And the problem is that multinational organizations have created a market for zero-day exploits. That's even what I think, which is rather impressive, when Microsoft is calling for a Geneva Convention to ban cyber weapons. Hey, come on. What does this mean? It means currently they see their own business model completely in danger. If this way how countries are developing cyber weapons and how they treat vulnerabilities or zero-day exploits, if this will continue like that, all our business models are fucked up. So if you ask, currently we're discussing about chemical weapons, and that's really poor because we see this kind of poor pictures. But to be honest, we have to ban cyber weapons as well. We have to do that because the danger for our society is completely big. A point I often see is that we have completely missed security by design and user-centric design. I've seen there was the discussion about metering markets and smart meters. That's great. I mean, it's a big topic. I've seen a security study of this. It was a smart meter of Norway. It was a great smart meter. The problem is that the API to plug in into the smart meter was completely built outside, accessible outside, and you can directly connect to the smart meter by your LAN cable and try to hack and less compartments. And so it was not a software issue. It was a design issue itself of the smart meter. Or if we take the Ring as the first doorbell, it was a design issue. Come on, the Ring is connected to your wireless LAN into the house, but the doorbell has to be placed outside. That's a design problem because we are opening the device which is connected by hardware to our wireless LAN and it's placed outside of our compartment. That's a critical issue. Or smart locks. Who has a smart lock? Anyone? You're a professional. It's like 8 of 10 smart locks are completely unsecure. And it's rather simple because the developers didn't manage to implement the Bluetooth stack correctly, so it's completely unencrypted Bluetooth stuff. Hey, come on, if you take security by design, designing a smart lock is the most stupid things you can do, because a lock itself is rather a security relevant issue. And the lockpicker industry, how old is the lockpicker industry? I think with the invention of the first lock, there was a lockpicker industry. The only thing what we're turning with smart locks is we give them tools to make lockpicking more effective. It's just we need a laptop and a Bluetooth dongle and we can open the house. It's just you don't have to drill the locks and stuff like that. It's more better for them doing that. So security by design, user-centric design is rather important. The last thing is a hot topic question is about, yes, what could be the solution? We need better products, very clear. And not every product must be smart. But if we have this kind of products and if we have all these problems, maybe we have to really discuss about certification. And that's a hot topic. Because certification means at the end always costs. Because we have internal costs to do all the documentation stuff. We have costs for external audits. Is it possible for startups even to enter the IoT world with an IoT product if they have to run into a certification process? That's a rather topic we have to discuss. But I myself believe that we need certification, because otherwise this Wild West IoT zombie feeding business practice will continue. We will need regulation there. We will need more certification. But maybe you can do it like similar to medical devices. Just say, well, there are certain groups of IoT devices. I mean, it's a different if I have a connected toothbrush. than to an autonomous vehicle. There are different risk classes. I mean, what can happen with a connected toothbrush at the end that are by more brushes, maybe. But for an autonomous vehicle, it's more critical, of course. So maybe the certification issue can be a solution on that. Yeah, so you have seen, hopefully I give you some inputs that we have to do more than only doing technical discussions. It's really, we have to go into a deep society discussion there, and even you as a company can drive this. I think that's what was impressive to me for the Charter of Trust, that the CEO of Airbus was standing up on the podium. It was at the Munich Security Conference. I was sitting at the table and he was standing up and he said, well, a modern Airbus, we have about 50,000 sensors inside the Airbus. And to be honest, we are not sure how we can secure this. I mean, that was a, but I fly already with that, but that was a rather honest statement. And then he said, because of that, we have to do as an industry, we have to force as an industry on that topic questions, not only focusing on firewalls and compartments. It's a better task. If we do this, and even you all have the power and the money and the impact to do that, even training your social media teams better than T-Mobile Austria, yeah, go for it. And if you do that, I'm sure that we can face the zombie army, and afterwards we can sit together in the Winchester drinking our pint. Thank you very much.